All right, it is officially 3 o'clock Eastern, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody, to our innovative ingredients used to calm and restore balance within the skin. This is our April monthly live webinar. I'm Danielle Rousseau, Director of Education for ClarityRx, also a licensed esthetician. Okay, so today we're talking a lot about ingredients, and I can't start a webinar without just kind of reminding everybody of ClarityRx, our philosophy and treatment for how we go about correcting and improving the overall skin health with our clients. So all of our products are plant-based. We take more of that progressive treatment approach. So we want to gently introduce active ingredients while also maintaining that balance and decreasing inflammation in the skin where necessary. So we will talk a lot about those balancing ingredients. We'll talk about anti-inflammatory ingredients. But the big thing too to remember is it's not only ingredients that we want to be using in the skin to be able to treat our clients' skin concerns and skin conditions. We also want to look and be aware of ingredients that we don't want to be using in the skin, and which specific ingredients can actually trigger or cause more irritation. They can break down our barrier and cause more concerns and issue, potentially cause increased inflammation as well. And some of these ingredients are fragrances, they're dyes, they're fillers, they're bulking agents. And ClarityRx and all of our products, we do use pharmaceutical grade ingredients that are responsibly sourced, but we are very, very proud that we do not use any of these known irritants, inflammatory ingredients, such as your synthetic dyes, synthetic fragrances, fillers, things like sulfates and phosphates. And as we're developing these efficacious products, we are also not using and not performing any animal testing. So we test on the two-legged animals of humans, those who are very, very happy to donate and test the skin or test these products and the efficacy of these products. But all of this really will come into play and will be a great combination of when you're trying to decide the best home care products, professional treatment for your clients in the treatment room and at home, of looking at, okay, what ingredients are going to deliver the results? How are they going to work within the skin to, whether it's light and hyperpigmentation, or in the instance of today's webinar, restore that barrier function, create that balance within the skin and reduce that inflammation. We want those beneficial ingredients, but we also want to make sure that our client is not using anything that can exacerbate or make these sort of conditions and issues, impaired barrier function, sensitivity, irritation within the skin, worse. So in that consultation process, we want to ensure, and even if we're, it's the 5th or 6th or maybe 12th time that you've seen this client, we don't want to skip that question step of what are you currently using at home and how are those products working for you? Clients and just us and society with social media, we're constantly bombarded with latest and greatest and new ingredients. You have your influencers that are telling people, try this, this will help reduce redness. And it's just human nature to want something new and different. So while you might be seeing this, your clients, like I said, 6 times, 12 times, and that they're on a good regimen, kind of switching things up, it doesn't hurt to continue to check in and ask what they're using at home, because they may fall victim. I know that sounds a little aggressive, but they may fall in the trap of the excitement that an influencer or somebody might portray. And it may have some of these ingredients in there that are kind of counteracting or counterintuitive to what you're doing in the treatment room and products that you are sending them home with. So all of our products are very clean, very efficacious, and also gentle. And we'll talk more about specific ingredients to reduce inflammation and create that balance within the skin. So as a whole, I know you guys all know this as licensed estheticians, we spend hours upon hours studying the skin, kind of the structure and the breakdown of the skin. And really the purpose of kicking off the webinar with the anatomy of the skin is just tying everything together as a whole. The skin is such a complex organ, it is the largest organ of the body. So there are a lot of different ways and places that things can go awry. So while yes, we are treating that top surface of the skin, we have these beneficial ingredients that will absorb and penetrate into the skin, it's important that we're kind of looking at that full picture, looking at, okay, we have the epidermis, we have your dermal layer, then you have your subcutaneous tissue. Below that, you have a matrix of collagen fiber, collagen, elastin, fibroblasts, capillaries. So all of these things really play a vital role in overall skin health. And so kind of looking at that big picture when we are treating our client's skin. Now, these are the few ingredients that we are going to highlight. Obviously, there are a lot of different ingredients out there that can be used to reduce inflammation. And Clarity has more of these ingredients in our products, but I really wanted to create a hyper-focused approach for our webinar today. So I'm going to kick off with probiotics. Then after probiotics, I'm going to move into CBD. And then we're going to talk about the Montana flower extract, ashwagandha, and then Chrysanthemum Indicum, and how all of this will help to restore that balance and calm the skin, creating an ideal environment for our skin to truly thrive. So with probiotics, so we kind of want to take a step back here and really talk about the microbiome. So the skin, as the largest organ of the human body, the skin is colonized by beneficial microorganisms and serves as a physical barrier to help to prevent the invasion of pathogens. So our skin has big shoes to fill, and it plays a huge role in protecting ourselves and protecting our body as a whole. So this spans much broader and larger than just the skin and the skin that we are treating, but it's great to kind of lay that groundwork that our skin truly is such a fascinating, complex, always changing, always evolving organ, and it is, contains a ton of microorganisms that really help to provide that physical barrier. Now, in circumstances where the barrier is broken or when the balance between pathogens is disturbed, that's when we start to see, the potential of skin disease or systemic disease can result. So if you have a cut and it doesn't heal and it's wide open, it's leaving open to bacteria, then you could have an infection. That infection could then continue into the body. So we're not diving that deep into it within the webinar, but it is very, very important to know that the balance, the strength, and the integrity of the skin is so, so important. Now, the microbiome. So the microbiome, we really want to build and strengthen this microbiome. So what is a microbiome? It's a unique mix of microorganisms that must be in balance in order for our skin to thrive. So as a whole, our body really thrives to be in more of a homeostasis state, and our microbiome is no different. So there's advanced research of the skin microbiota that have confirmed that an outer biome does in fact exist, and it is proven to be home to millions of microorganisms. So this collection of flora and your skin's ability to serve as a barrier to the outside world. So protecting our insides from the outside environmental stressors and invaders, pathogens, viruses, bacteria, all that stuff. Our microbiome will help to serve, think of it as that shield of protection. And new studies, and there's constantly more and more studies happening. Thankfully, the science as it evolves and data and research, a lot of this too kind of comes from from, we're looking at probiotics specifically and balancing out the gut health and gut bacteria that started, kind of leading to more and more. And now with the discovery of the skin's microbiome and the importance of having a strong outer microbiome for the skin in order to have that healthy protection, we're going to see more and more information come to the surface. And these new studies are demonstrating that the significant impact of supporting our ecosystem is very, very important in overall health. So when you're looking at it from an oral standpoint with your probiotics, it's also the same exact manner of the external standpoint with that skin microbiome and strengthening those microorganisms. So it is a complex ecosystem, and it's always changing and evolving. We know that the skin is constantly changing. When we see our clients once a month, their skin can be in a completely different state, depending on a wide variety of factors. So external factors, lifestyle choices, products, treatments, and these changes can be positive, they can be beneficial. That's what we're really working for and striving to create that positive change and impact time and time again. They can also be on the negative side of things. So over treating, using the wrong products. Maybe your client spent a week out on a houseboat, or stress, or different things can really play a factor in the overall structure and health of the skin, and also playing a role in that microbiome. So keeping that ever-changing host of microorganism, healthy flora and bacteria to work together to keep that skin protected from environmental damage. So we want that right balance of bacteria on the surface. And what this will do is when you have that healthy balance and that correct balance, a strong microbiome, then the skin's going to look more vibrant. You're going to have a much healthier complexion. So you have your probiotics, then you also have prebiotics. So prebiotics, the precursor, these help your skin to make the probiotics and also help to make the probiotics that your skin needs in order to thrive. Probiotic are ferments, and then postbiotics, so after the fact, in the breakdown of the probiotics, strengthen the skin's surface against sensitivity and damage. So all three of these really do play a vital role in skin health. Now, as probiotics break down onto the skin's surface, they will create other skin beneficial substances, and these are what we call postbiotics. So not only are the probiotics important for the skin and helping to balance out the good and the bad bacteria with that shield, also the kind of substance that's left over after those probiotics break down are extremely beneficial. So postbiotics include hyaluronic acid, you have peptides as well as vitamins, and all of this will help to diminish the signs of aging, boost hydration, and improve the skin's healthy, vibrant tone. So here is a research article. So this webinar is recorded. You will have the slides after the fact. So I highly encourage you guys to do a little bit more of your own research too. But this article in particular, this was just kind of a clip in a suburb that really stood out to me. And you can see I've sourced and put the source down at the bottom of the slide here. So that way you guys can take a look and dive in a little bit deeper into topical probiotics and their function and role within the skin. But this specific excerpt, so it is a review. So you have a lot of different information in here. It explains that the probiotics can restore acidic skin pH. So we want to have that pH balanced skin, but our skin is a little bit more on the acidic side anyways, to alleviate oxidative stress, attenuate photoaging, improve skin barrier function, and enhance the overall hair quality. So we have our hair, our sebaceous glands, our hair follicles, all of that really play a role. Like I said, just looking at the anatomy of the skin, everything kind of works together synergistically, and these probiotics are working and functioning on a multi-level standpoint to improve the health of the skin. So within our products, we utilize lactobacillus. So this is actually obtained from fermentation of ginseng root. You can find lactobacillus in 2 of our products. So you have our Get Balanced Probiotic Corrective Serum. The Get Balanced is in a hyaluronic acid base. So we know hydration and that water content is very, very important to skin health. So it is in that base. And then you have that probiotic within that corrective serum. Then as an enhanced kind of power hit, you have this probiotic, a strong probiotic from the ginseng root in our Live and Be Well mask. So this is going to help to strengthen, balance out that microbial shield. It will maintain and kind of retain and rebalance our microbiota within the skin, which ultimately will help to improve the overall barrier function of the skin. Few added ingredients. So I know I talked about the hyaluronic acid base. That's what gives it such that luxurious consistency. When you drop this product on your hand out of that pipette, it almost has an Instagram worthy appearance, that it just has this picture perfect drop. And that is coming from that base of that pure hyaluronic acid. But in addition to your probiotic that you have in here, and again, it is a plant-based probiotic, you also have sweet almond seed extract, which is a powerful antioxidant. So while we're strengthening the skin, we're also adding beneficial ingredients and nutritive ingredients to strengthen the skin as well. And then you have your pomegranate seed extract. So pomegranate seed extract is very, very high in natural vitamin C, antioxidants, to help to protect from those free radical damage, and restore the overall skin health. So this is a product that your clients can use morning and evening. So apply 2 to 3 drops, letting them know, they don't need a lot. This is a product that is visual. They don't need a full pipette. So if your clients are newer to any of our serums that come in a glass bottle and a dropper, it is helpful to just kind of show them that dosage. And it's 2 to 3 drops and not 2 to 3 full pipettes. So they can apply this, like I said, morning and evening. So they'll cleanse their skin, they'll apply their 2 to 3 drops. If it's in the morning time and they're doing a very simple regimen, then they can go ahead and finish with SPF. And then in the evening time, they can finish with their moisturizer, facial oil kind of combination, whatever you deem most appropriate for their skin. If somebody has a really, really impaired barrier function, Nourish Your Skin with 100% squalane oil is a wonderful added oil in there to help to support that probiotic, as that probiotic is balancing out the good and bad bacteria on the surface of the skin and strengthening the microbiome. Then you have our Live and Be Well mask. So again, this has that lactobacillus in there, but it also has pink Himalayan salt, which is a natural, very, very powerful detoxifier that helps kind of with that microcirculation, which we'll talk a little bit more about here in just a moment. But this helps with that healing process as well, and to be able to detoxify the skin, leaving it refreshed and nourished. And then the horsetail kelp is great for maintaining that hydration and moisture as well. So this is a mask that you guys are utilizing in the treatment room, part of the Live and Well-being, the Well-being facial with the Live and Be Well mask. This is also a mask that you can send your clients home with to continue that treatment and that extra dose of probiotics in the skin. So they'll apply this mask, leave it on 10 to 15 minutes, and remove with tepid water. The skin after this mask just has such a bright, dewy glow to it. It truly is one of those wow factors in a mask with just how hydrated and dewy that skin looks. So in the treatment room, as I mentioned, we have their well-being facial. So this is going to utilize that live and be well mask, probiotic mask in there. It also features our Himalayan salt acupressure massage, which is a wonderful way to get that lymph and detoxification with that acupressure massage in there. So this is a wonderful treatment too, if you haven't already introduced to your clients. And it really is appropriate for pretty much all skin types and all skin conditions. All right, next we have inflammation, and it's really, really important. I know we talk so much about anti-inflammatory, let's reduce inflammation, but kind of want to touch more so on what is inflammation, what's the purpose of inflammation? And there's two different types of inflammation. So you have your acute and chronic inflammation, and not all inflammation is bad. So inflammation actually is very, very important to overall health for us and healing. So without inflammation and that inflammatory response, we would be in big trouble. So backing up, kind of what is inflammation? It is a biological response of the immune system that can be triggered by a variety of factors. So these factors can be pathogens, damaged cells, toxic compounds, and it is like I said, a vital defense mechanism for health. And this is just overall health, our skin health, our body health. This is what's triggering kind of that immune system healing response. So what is the purpose of inflammation? It's to provide protection. So it's going to protect us from infection, from outside invaders such as bacteria and viruses. So we have these inflammatory cells and cytokines that, when triggered, part of that inflammatory response, they actually trap that bacteria and other offenders. And then what you'll do is it will help to, it also helps to trigger that wound healing response. So inflammation, when it's controlled, when it is short term, is very, very beneficial and much needed. So like I said, I know we're talking a lot about anti-inflammatory, calming that inflammation, but there are instances, and if you think about it, for example, post chemical peel, post microdermabrasion, dermal infusion, that is a process and a treatment that's stimulating a controlled inflammatory response to help to wake up the skin and trigger that wound healing response. So within that wound healing response, that's where you're getting your fibroblasts help to wake up to stimulate that collagen and that elastin and that strengthening of the skin. So it does serve a purpose. It's when that inflammatory response is long-term, or if it's very, very significant and severe. So kind of differentiating the two types of inflammation. So you have your acute inflammation. This develops very, very rapidly in response to a trigger. So think of a chemical peel. This would be a type of acute inflammation, a curling iron burn, a bug bite, a cut, anything like that. That is a response that's going to trigger that wound healing response. It's going to trigger that overall inflammatory response to stimulate healing. It's very short term, and it does not typically, when you're looking at acute inflammation, it's very short term. It serves its purpose. The body goes back and maintains its normal balance. So it does not typically cause that permanent tissue damage. Now, then you have your chronic inflammation. This is where we really want to focus on helping to control that chronic inflammation, having our skin, okay, serve its purpose of that inflammatory response, but making sure that light switch isn't always turned on, that light switch is turned on when it's needed, and then that light switch is turned off when it's no longer needed. So this is that inflammatory response that continues even when there is no outside trigger present. So it's constantly in an inflammatory state. And over time, if you're looking at, chronic inflammation within the body, chronic inflammation in the skin, this is where you start to have chronic disease that can happen and tissue damage that can happen as a result. All right, so we want to control that excess inflammation. That's kind of that key word in there, is the excess inflammation. And day to day, we are constantly exposed to inflammatory stimulus and triggers. So UVA, UVB rays, pollution, bacteria that's not, good bacteria. So we have to kind of create that balance by adding those topical ingredients in there. I just want to make sure not all inflammation is bad. It serves a time and a purpose. So one of the key ingredients that we will talk about here for controlling inflammation is CBD. I know we've talked about this quite a few times, but for today's purpose, we're really going to be highlighting that anti-inflammatory aspect of CBD. That's one of its really standout stellar mechanism of actions and function within the skin specifically is helping to control that inflammation within the skin. So we have your CB1 and CBD2 or CB2 receptors. But before we go into the receptors, just kind of looking at that endocannabinoid system. So this is an evolutionary conserved network of molecular signaling that plays a role in bodily homeostasis. So our endocannabinoid system throughout our body helps to maintain that homeostasis within our entire body. And the endocannabinoid system is comprised of cannabinoid receptors, endocannabinoid molecules, and metabolic enzymes. So we have your endocannabinoids are actually found in your body naturally. So you have your endocannabinoid system, then you have endocannabinoids that are produced by the body. Then you have your phytocannabinoids, which is produced by the cannabis plant. And with CBD, that is going to be your phytocannabinoid that helps to connect and work on the CB1 and CB2 receptors. So these receptors are found, both of them are found throughout the skin. So epidermis, sebaceous glands, hair follicles, subcutaneous fat, and the CB1 receptor was actually discovered by St. Louis scientists at St. Louis University back in 1988. So scientists have known that we have this CB1 receptor for quite some time now. So it's not brand new and when we're looking at the landscape, but then I guess if you look at science as a whole and kind of this industry and skincare, it is still pretty recent. So there's still a lot of research being done. But 1988, scientists knew that we had a CB1 receptor. Then in 1993, that's where they found the CB2 receptor. So these have been discovered for a while, and just kind of looking at how CBD actually works on these receptors. And I'll talk about it in just a moment, but really it's a power in numbers. So when you have your all-star CBD ingredient, what it's doing is it's helping to connect with the receptors in that within the neurotransmitters to help to calm and reduce that inflammation in there. Now, we use two types of CBD. So we have our broad spectrum CBD, which is going to have basically everything in there with the exception of THC. And there's, all sorts of different information. There's some articles and reviews that say that there's upwards of 70 different cannabinoids within the family. And then there's others that say 50. So I like to say there's 50 or there's at least 50 different types of cannabinoids. And CBD is one type of cannabinoid. So by using broad spectrum, we've removed the THC. So we have 0% THC within our products, but we do use a wide variety. In addition to CBD, we use a wide variety of other cannabinoids. Then we have the Cbd Isolate. So this is a process that, pharmaceutical companies will use with different drugs, but that process is strictly pulling out that pure CBD. Now we use the combination. So we're using that Cbd Isolate to be able to get to those therapeutic levels to maximize the efficacy of reducing that inflammation and all the beneficial properties that cannabinoids can have within the skin. But then we also know that there are other benefits to cannabinoids as a whole and not necessarily just CBD. So the combination of it, that's where that power in numbers come in play. So we're really flooding those receptors to be able to have that maximum effect and optimal results when introducing a cannabinoid or CBD product into the skin. So that is the CBD, as you guys know, we have that in a total of 4 products. 3 are for retail as well as available in the back bar. So you have your Return to Calm cleanser, you have a Return to Calm moisturizer, and Return to Calm mask. And then for the back bar, you have all 3 of those in addition to a highly concentrated CBD massage oil. And all of those are part of your Return to Calm CBD facial. So excellent at helping to control that excess inflammation and help to trigger that healing response within the skin. Another ingredient that is wonderful at reducing that inflammation, controlling that excess inflammation, and promote the healing process within the skin is Arnica montana leaf extract. So this helps to increase that microcirculation. So if you're looking at, with that inflammatory response within the skin, it will cause that dilation of the blood vessels to increase that inflammation. So all of that, all the beneficial nutrients and oxygen that are in our blood help with that healing process. So with having this Arnica montana leaf extract, and this is in a couple of our products, but just kind of noted here is our CBD moisturizer. It is also in our On the Mend hydrator as well. So there's 2 different spots that you can find that there, but increasing that microcirculation. So this is circulation that you're not necessarily seeing to the naked eye, but it's helping to bring that nutrients, that oxygen to the surface and to the skin where you've applied this product to help with that healing process. And it also has great, antibacterial properties to it as well. Then you have your ashwagandha. So ashwagandha, this has a wide variety of uses. And I know if you're more into that nutrition, supplement, natural, kind of medicinal healing, ashwagandha as an oral supplement, people take oftentimes to help to manage stress. Now, when it is applied topically, it actually has a unique role that it is reducing that inflammation within the skin, but it also helps to reduce the effects of cortisol. So cortisol is that stress hormone that when you're looking at stressed skin, skin that just is, seems to be always under attack, it's going to help to work to soothe that overly stressed skin and target the problems that are associated with stressed skin. So it's also going to promote skin regeneration and is an antioxidant in itself. So here, kind of circling back to CBD, and you'll find kind of a combination of the ashwagandha, which is in the mask, as well as CBD in there. You also have your Pinus pinister in that CBD mask, but very, very excited and proud. Our CBD mask was nominated and won the award for Best Mask for Sensitive Skin. And we do not have an agency that pays or actively submits products for these awards. This product fell in the hands of a couple of dermatologists and was submitted and selected and won the award for Best Mask, just based off of the way that it's reducing that inflammation in the skin. And for those of you who have been doing the Return to Calm CBD facial in the treatment room, recommending that CBD mask for your clients that have more of that persistent redness. Their skin looks just angry. It looks like it does need to be calmed and soothed, you've seen the powerful, powerful impact that this mask can have on the skin. And this is a mask that can be used at home. You can use it, 2 to 3 times per week. Apply it to the skin, leave on 10 to 15 minutes and wash it off. And then in the treatment room, upgrading this mask and this treatment with LED light to really enhance that overall anti-inflammatory healing efficacy within the treatment room, and just adding that next level of professional treatment for you as the clinician for your clients in the treatment room. But it's becoming that, so it's modulating that inflammatory process. So it's basically, in short, it's helping to kind of soothe so that inflammatory process doesn't take off from the very beginning. So it's very calming, reduce that redness. It does have a little bit of an anti-itch property to it as well. Next, we have your Chrysanthemum Indicum. So this is an ingredient that can be found in our Take It Easy serum. So this is another very calming ingredient. It is technically, it's from chamomile. So another name is the golden chamomile in there. So just thinking of chamomile and all the wonderful calming benefits in there. This is a wonderful ingredient and product for anybody who has that more persistent redness within the skin. It works to the Take It Easy serum in general is very calming. And then it has, in addition to that, I'm sorry, let me back up. So the chrysanthemum, what it's going to do is it not only is it anti-inflammatory, but it's helping to strengthen and support that capillary function. So if you have somebody who has persistent redness, flushing, irritation, that constant dilation of that blood vessel, it starts to kind of weaken that blood vessel. And you can have just a little bit of what we call that like leaking that happens. And then that fluid can go to the surrounding tissue, cause excess inflammation, irritation, and just trigger even more redness. So what Chrysanthemum Indicum is doing is it's supporting that function, helping to strengthen those capillaries. So as they are dilating, contracting, they're maintaining kind of that strength and that structure to be able to support that overall function. And when you have those strong capillaries, those strong capillary walls, you won't have as much visible erythema and redness within the skin because you don't have the chance of any sort of leaking happening. But it also will help to support, so that way as they're dilating, constricting, you don't necessarily have or run the risk of causing more harm and potential breaking of that capillary. So anybody with redness, this is a wonderful product to introduce to them because of the support of the capillary function, the calming benefits to it, but also that saccharide isomerate is it's a plant-derived carbohydrate, and this plant-derived carbohydrate will mimic the carbs in the stratum corneum. So this will overall help to reduce that moisture loss within the skin. It reduces that, when you have that dry, sensitized skin, it can feel a little tight, and it can also have almost like an itchy sensation to it. So with this combination, it's a really powerful, calming, anti-inflammatory, corrective serum that you can introduce to your clients that have more of that persistent redness. All right, and in the treatment room, you have your Return to Calm facial treatment. You can upgrade this with LED lights, and I strongly encourage that upgrade with the LED lights, again, to just overall enhance and maximize the efficacy and really separate what your client is receiving from you in the treatment room than what they are doing at home. They can go home and use these wonderful anti-inflammatory CBD products, create a whole regimen, and then that way they're treating their skin while they're not able to be with you. But then when they come in and they are able to receive that professional treatment, you're taking that treatment to the next level by introducing different modalities such as LED light that they're not able to do at home. Then you have your sensitive skin facial, and I just want to note too, with the latest protocol update in both the return to calm facial and the sensitive skin facial, for that last hydrate, lubricate, and protect step, you do have the option to add in or choose Take It Easy serum. So you either have daily dose of water that you can apply to the skin, or you can apply that Take It Easy serum. So, and just further another customizing option if somebody is very, very dehydrated, and that's really what's causing more of their redness, their sensitivity, then daily dose of water is a great corrective serum to choose. If they have more of that persistent redness, more of that capillary activity that you're seeing, as well as a little bit of dehydration, do note, Take It Easy serum is also in a hyaluronic acid base. So they are getting that hydration of the hyaluronic acid, but now they're getting that added benefit and introduction of the chrysanthemum and then the saccharide isomerate in there. Also just wanted to make a note too, I didn't want to have an oversight of just different options, but the the Infuse It pop-up mask, this helps to cool the skin, and it's more so cooling on contact, and it's also going to help to drive whatever is on underneath it deeper. So if you're using this in the treatment room, whatever you have underneath it, that coolness, because you are putting it in a bowl of cold water, allowing it to kind of loosen up, that added on contact, that coolness will help to reduce kind of that surface inflammation and calm the skin as well. For treatment modalities, I know I talked about LED lights, so red light or amber light would be two wonderful options when you're looking at kind of balancing out the skin, helping with that healing process, reducing that inflammation in there. So you have your red LED light to promote that healthy circulation. It will stimulate your fibroblasts for collagen and elastin. And then you have your amber LED light that's going to soothe that irritated, sensitized skin, reduce redness. It also can help with reducing some of that swelling and decrease the visible blood vessels as well in the skin. So two different options to enhance your outcomes for your clients when they come to see you in the treatment room. All right, so Mother's Day, it's hard to believe Mother's Day is right around the corner. So I know there is a big focus and push, and Jacqueline and team created this beautiful marketing piece. So wanted to make sure that you guys saw it. It's a great time kind of really hone in and target that live and be well. Has the pink mask in there, and treat mom to a relaxing yet efficacious facial treatment that she is looking for. And then we still have our a little bit of time left of our April promotion. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware for the month of April for your client. So any client who purchases either the physical skin defense, the tinted mineral SPF 50, or our newer reformulated skin defense SPF 50, they will receive a deluxe travel size of Take Care Daily. So think of your antioxidant as your sunscreen sidekick. The sunscreen is not able to, it doesn't matter what sunscreen out there, no sunscreen is providing 100% protection. So having that added layer of protection with those antioxidants, and those in itself, when we're protecting our skin from the harmful UVA, UVB rays, that can cause inflammation in the skin. So having, and it can disrupt our barrier function, throw off the balance of our microbiome. So wearing your sunscreen and then also adding that antioxidant in there. This is appropriate for all skin types, all skin conditions, and preparing for, next month is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. So May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month. Really set your clients up for success to be able to safely enjoy the beautiful summer months and get their sunscreen and antioxidants in there. Then we do have a little bit of time left in our retail sales contest. So this is a contest for Canada as well as the US. So there's two different segments here, but the top individuals who sell the most retail Clarity RX, the top 3 in the US, will win an all expense paid trip to Chicago. In Canada, the top esthetician that wins, that sells the most Clarity RX will automatically win, and then there will be a drawing. So lots of fun and exciting things happening right now. We do have some time left, so it's anybody's game. I know you guys are off to a fantastic start, so keep it going, and utilize this information. I know on a daily basis we're seeing clients that are struggling with disrupted barrier function, excessive redness, irritation. So these products and these ingredients that we spoke about really will come into play, and just keep in mind that every product, not only are you helping your clients to achieve those results that they're looking for, you are the trusted professional resource guidance for them that they are coming to you for. We want to make it fun and rewarding, and you have that chance to win an all expense paid trip to Chicago. All right. Well, thank you very, very much for all who is able to attend. Again, this will be recorded and we will share. If you have any questions at all, if you have not taken advantage of our April promotion or our new Balm It Off launch promotion, please reach out to your customer success specialist and they will be able to help you. If you have any questions or if there's anything that we can do to support, please let us know. Thank you again for joining our April webinar. Have a wonderful rest of